Hello, good morning. This is the fourth video on global image vids. So I made some additions to it, which includes searching for the images of the ship. So let me start. So you can see a few additions here. The first one is AIS. So if I open that link, so what you see here is we have a database of ships and the track data. That means you have the name of the ship, you have an MMSI number, the owner, the country, and also the track data. Basically, currently in this application, the track data is read from a file, but it could be easily integrated into the AIS database. So for the time being, I'm just using the track data from a file. So how do you do that is you can create a new one and you can name it as a tanker ship, a tanker, or you can provide any name you want, some ship. You can give an MMSI number, you can select who's the owner, country, some India, owner as Kabish, and I can choose a particular file which should be in a proper format. So you can choose a file from here, and the file is usually in this particular format. It skips all these lines and it takes date, time, and its latitude and longitude. It doesn't take the altitude, but these are the three data what it reads. And once you load that, it comes into the database of AIS. So it appears here, and then you have the old database which I have already mentioned. So I have all the images which was taken by the ship, for the ship. So a new addition is you can have find images. I have put some additional search capability here, which is a basic search and an AIS search. So if I click on load ships, basically it loads all the ships which are in this database. So if I open AIS, you can see all these. There are almost 10 ships here. Everything appears in this column, and you can choose one of them. So for example, if I choose a ship named 9A, this ship is selected, and now I can click on load CZML. So the moment I click CZML, that particular ship appears here, and the animation time set is set from the start of the ship's route till the end of it. So if I look at my database of images, so I know that ship, I had an image of the ship 9 which was taken at this particular time, 6:13 p.m. on the 1st of November. So let's see what happens if I come back here and I change the time to 6:13. 6:15 something. The ship was somewhere over here. So what now you need to do is, if you want to find out whether any images was taken, you just double click on it. That means you select it. You have to select, and this button appears here, which is vehicle. Now you have to go back to your basic search button, and you can there is a new button which I have included, which is get location of the selected entity. So if I keep this empty, and if I click on get location of the entity, so it takes the current location of the selected entity, and I put a range of 3 degree. You can see that this is my search area, and in a span of maybe 1 hour, and you can click on search images. So it basically goes inside this database, looks whether there was any images taken, and you can see there was one image taken of this one. So, and if I click on now show pin, you can see where exactly that image was taken from. So this was the location from which that image was taken of this particular ship. And now if I click on ship image 9, you can see what was the image which was taken. So if I click on clear and just put ship image, you can see that. So I'll show one more example. We have many other ships as well. So I will choose another ship which I would maybe 6A, and I click on load CSML. So you know that 6A is here, and if I select that ship A, and if I look at my images, this is not required actually. I'm just looking at it because I want to set the time. So ship image was taken something around 11 AM. So if I go back to my basic and set my time to some 11 AM on 11 AM of 1st of November. So 1st of November 11 AM. So 1st of November 11 AM. So something 11 AM, and you can get the location of the selected entity. So it takes this current location, again put a span of 1 or 3 degrees, maybe 2 degrees, let's see, and the span of 1 hour. And you can, I just clicked on search images, you saw that the number has changed from 9 to 6. Now when I click on this, you can exactly see what images was taken. So you can exactly see that particular image. So now I'll show how our data is imported. So if I take this example, I'm going to take this particular data from STK to be loaded there. So I have put a tanker ship here. I'm going to generate a report of it. I go to reports and graph manager. I select tanker and I choose the waypoint, and this is my data. And I save it as ship tanker waypoints.txt. And if I go here, you can see that tanker waypoint which came as a file. Now when I go back here, I look at my AIS database. I click on create new. I would say tanker. I'll put some MSI number which is usually associated with ship. I can put a country, an owner, and I can choose a file, and I will choose tanker. I got an existing image, tanker. Sorry, that's not the image. I have to look for the track data, which was this particular file, which is residing in this file. This is the waypoints, and I click on create, and if you come down, you can see that tanker data, MMSI number, Libish, India, and also the entire track data is loaded here, and there is edit details as well. You can delete it, create it, and etc. And now I go back to my database. I create a new image also, so that it gets associated with it. So I'll put tanker image. For example, this could be taken by a fisherman, and he is uploading at this time. So let me go back here, and let me decide that in the tanker, let's see that the tanker was here, and maybe the image was taken from when it reached this particular location. So I couldn't specify that the image was taken at this particular time. So I'll take this time. The extension is JPG, the owner is, and I have to say that the image was taken somewhere from here. This will be the fisherman's location, 8.44972, and longitude as 146.27226, and can put some price data, ship, and I choose the image file which was in it was in this particular folder, ship images, and I choose tanker, and I click on create, and it goes inside the database. If I look at the database, the image has gone inside. Basically it is listing only 10 of them, but it is already inside. So now I come back here and I choose find images, and I load all the ships, and you can see that tanker ship has come. And now I can load the CZML, and you can see exactly the track what I had loaded from STK has come here. And now I know that so if you look at the tanker throughout its route, let me see the time the image was taken. It was around 1st of April 6:34. That was the time when the image was loaded. So I loaded to some 6:34, some 6:40, so it doesn't matter. So I go to basic, I choose the tanker ship, and I click on get selected entity, give a range of 3 degree, time span of 1 hour, search images, and you can see that tanker image appeared here. And I click on tanker image to see exactly what the image was taken, and also you can see from which location. So if you look at the pin data, that is exactly the location from which it was taken. So that is about the search. We can include a lot more searches in the future. Maybe I can put a search where it checks out for images throughout its track as well. And also we have this live, which I had shown in my previous video. So if I click on go live, all those images which was taken for the ship also will appear, and you will see these were all the images of the ship which was taken. You can see some images taken here as well. And this was the tanker image within this location. So that's all in this video. Thank you.